I want to speak to the landscape of the Canadian economy, Robin. If you look at where we are today, we've got lots of job losses. The economy is a bit shaky. But if you look at that landscape, we've got lots of SMEs, about 1.1 million SMEs in Canada today. And that bifurcation says a small SMEs are 1 to 9 levels employer, and the medium would be 100 to 499 employees, and then the large would be 500 and above. Now, if you look at all of these and what they provide in the economy is huge. They've got great capacity. Now, SMEs in Canada provide at about 50 plus, or about 58% of employers, sorry, of employees, right? So in terms of employability, they provide 58% of employment in Canada. And then if you looked at the GDP from the private sector end, that's about 50%. So 50% GDP from the private sector end, and then about 58% of employees in Canada are housed by SMEs. If the government, or if I recommend we put up a strategy around helping these SMEs, right? So if we did 20% of those SMEs and help provide financial leadership to those SMEs, you would imagine what's going to happen in the economy, Robin. That would change a whole lot. That will add a whole lot to employment. And that will reject the GDP, or the private sector GDP in Canada, and position this country on a great growth trajectory. And so we need to look after SMEs. Is a great place to really have a great policy that supports SMEs. I also want to talk to the government, or potentially to companies. One of the problems, I was in Calgary last year, and the call was for SME participation in government in procurement, and the military procurement. And one of the questions I did ask the moderator was, well, the call for SMEs to participate in government procurement is a great idea, but have you thought about the problems and the challenges SMEs face day to day? They said, no. I said, do you know that if we supplied, I as an SME, for example, supplies the government a product, it takes about, or service, it takes about 30 days or plus for the government to pay, or more for companies to pay. What if you put up a policy, all right, that pays SMEs 5 days after supply? Do you know what that does to SMEs? What that's going to open up lots of cash flow. That's going to unlock cash flow for SMEs. They're going to have enough cash flow going in for them. And if you have good cash flow for SMEs, more jobs are going to be created, more opportunities for SMEs, more jobs created, and more addition to the GDP of the country. And so we got to look at that space. It's a great space to really look into. It's with lots of potential. We just need to provide the right financial leadership for this segment. And I believe with this, we're going to grow. We're going to grow the economy. We're going to grow more employment. So we're going to make people happy. We're going to take over reduced job losses in the market.